Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about the AYERS cut. Now, ever since the Snyder Cut was confirmed to be a thing, I made a video talking about it, and it's coming to HBO Max, which just released today. I haven't gotten it myself because honestly, there's nothing on there that I really can't get. And to be fair, most sites are like that, like the Disney ones and a lot of it, but the thing is, Disney actually had all their stuff in 4K. And not only that, not only did it have all that stuff in 4K, which HBO Max is not, it also had all the Marvel shows, all the Marvel movies, including including Endgame, and it had The Mandalorian to kick off with, and the Jeff Goldblum show, which I think was fun too. And the Jeff Goldblum show, which I thought was fun, but The Mandalorian especially it kicked off with that. While HBO Max doesn't really have anything to kick it off with, HBO Max has the standard HBO package. It has what TNT has, so it has what TNT has what HBO has, and it has like a couple other things. Which essentially, if you have HBO or TNT or one of these channels, you pretty much have HBO Max. I'm sure you can't look at certain. I'm sure there's certain things like the Looney Tunes shows, like you can't go back and but you could find those somewhere very, very, very easily on demand. Honestly, I feel like if I go on demand now and want to look at like old Johnny Bravo or something, I don't think they'd make me pay. They might, but I don't think they would. So I really don't have a need to get HBO Max right now. I'm gonna wait a little bit until something really good comes out when it comes to HBO Max. I'm gonna eventually get it, but I digress. Right now, I'm not getting it just yet. It's $15 a month for just HBO Max. It's not like $15 a month for like HBO Max and Hulu and ESPN Plus. Like the Disney Plus package is like Hulu is Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN Plus. So like if the documentaries from ESPN Plus, and the ability to pay for the fights cheaper, and for all UFC fights and stuff cheaper, and Hulu, which has some of HBO stuff in it, which has extension packages and like gives you free trials, gives you multiple free trials of other things anyways, and Disney Plus for less than just HBO Max. But like I said, I digress. That's not the main topic I'm here to talk about. The main topic I'm here to talk about is the David Ayers cut. Now, if you do not know, David Ayers was the director of Suicide Squad. Now, when Suicide Squad was being put together, it was supposed to be a dark and gritty take on basically the Guardians of the Galaxy genre, because it was supposed to be a dark and gritty version of Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is the only reason Suicide Squad was ever made, because they realized, oh, we can make a movie like this with crazy characters who would be considered scoundrels, or, well, in this case, bad guys, and put them together, this dysfunctional family, and that's kind of the vibe they were trying to go for. Or at least that's the vibe the movie ended up turning out that it was going for. But the original Suicide Squad, especially if you look at the first trailer, before the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer, is a lot darker. It's a lot grittier. It's a lot more akin to rated R. I believe it might have even been rated R for a little bit. But it was going to be really grim. If you've seen any of David Ayers' other movies that he directed, I believe he directed Training Day. He's directed, I believe he directed End of Watch. Like, there's certain movies, I believe, I might be wrong, but I know he's directed all the movies. I've seen some of his movies, and they're pretty dark, they're pretty grim. They have a pretty cynical outlook on life. You know, that's kind of his style. So Suicide Squad was going to be really dark. There are tons of deleted scenes, especially of the Joker abusing Harley Quinn, and that were cut out. And there's just a lot of things. And as it turns out, BVS, the failure of BVS, which I'm sorry, I literally had to debate this with Den of Nerds the other day. I didn't debate it, but I posted it up, and I was debating people about this, that I'm sorry, the failure of BVS led to Warner Brothers going into panic mode and reevaluating all of their projects. Because let's face it, BVS came out and it underperformed. It was supposed to make over, like, it made money, but BVS was supposed to be make more money than the Avengers. Like, that's the projection that BVS had. It was like $1.5 billion. It didn't even make $1 billion. BVS was an underperformer, and it has a 28% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Even on IMDb, it's on like a 6 point something, which is still extremely low for a comic book movie. It doesn't have a good audience score. Like, BVS was a failure. There are people who like BVS. There are people who liked the definitive cut or whatever, the extended cut. But you have to understand, if you like BVS, you're in a vast minority. People really did not like BVS. I remember when it came out. I remember the heat. I remember me and Steph talking about it. I remember the memes, the Martha memes, the people who hated that Batman killed people, the people who make fun of it. I remember the Screen Junkies videos. I remember so many people make Collider. I remember so many people shitting on this movie. I remember Grace Randolph getting so angry at people for not liking this movie that she was accusing everyone of being biased towards Marvel. I remember all of these things, and I don't know how some people, like, right now we're at this time period. I don't know if it's just the coronavirus in the air or something. Wasn't supposed to say that. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the virus up in the air or something, but right now we're in this weird time period where people are just like trying to rewrite history. It's like all these people trying to act like everyone always liked the prequels, when that's never been the case. No one's always liked the prequels. Most people dislike the prequels. Most people thought the prequels were bad, and was just scared to say that they were bad because they were praying to God to get them, that once they got them, they felt ungrateful to say that they were bad. That's how most people felt. But as people grew and everyone grew up, everyone realized these movies were shit, and that's what they treated them accordingly. And then it's not until after the Disney stuff that people started going, they weren't that bad actually. So I'm like, there's this weird thing going on where people try to like retrospectively look back and make certain things better. Like there was this post up by this guy on Hyper RPG. It's a pretty good channel. I think it was Adam Lavick. I always say his last name wrong. I like Adam, but he said he posted this post up on Twitter once about he says that people nowadays try to boost up the future. Like, this isn't verbatim what he said, but basically, essentially, people nowadays try to put down the past and boost up the future. Like new things, the new shiny thing is the best thing, and the past is old, and it was in the past. But I would argue that it's the opposite right now. Right now, people really are into the boosting up of the past and the putting down of the current. Like, people right now are like really quick to go, oh, it's just new and shiny. This old thing is actually really good, because it makes them sound sophisticated, and it makes them feel like they know something. But anywho, that's just a part of the conversation. The David Ayers cut is supposedly 90% done, according to David Ayers. It supposedly had a Harley Quinn and Deathstroke hooking up. It had the extra scenes of Harley Quinn and the Joker in it. It had a whole bunch of things in it that weren't supposed to be in the original one. But if you don't know this, which, like I said, some people don't know, Suicide Squad was cut up by the trailer team. The team that made the Suicide Squad trailer went into the editing bay and got to chop up the movie to make it look more fun, poppy, and entertaining for mass audiences. That's what happened. BVS made Warner Brothers freak out. The failure of it, the divisiveness of the tone, the divisiveness of where it was going, and they saw Suicide Squad and realized Suicide Squad is going to be very similar to it. They freaked out. They rightfully so freaked out, to be honest with you. I've seen, like I said, I saw Den of Nerds going, they screwed it up. It's like, no, Zack Snyder screwed it up. he screwed it up because the only reason BVS even happened was because people were divisive because of the divisiveness of Man of Steel. They wanted to just make a Man of Steel 2. Like, none of this is out there. Like, you can go find it. Like, I'm not going to hand food to you. Just look it up. All this is out there. Collider were talking about it at the time. All these different sites were talking about it at the time. That Warner Brothers wanted to make a Man of Steel 2. But the Man of Steel movie was so divisive, amongst audiences, that they said we have to do something to punch it up to, like, guarantee more success. So they put Batman in it, and then eventually it became BVS, But that wasn't what it was originally supposed to be. And then the same thing happened. BVS was so divisive, was so, controversial, was so poorly rated, did not make as much money as they wanted it to, as nearly as much money as they wanted it to make, that they ended up that they freaked out. Like I said, they rightfully freaked out and went, oh my god, this Suicide Squad movie's just like it. It's going to be another one. We're going to just do it again. So, I mean, perhaps having, the trailer team cut up the movie might have been a wrong decision, but it is what it is. Like I said, like Zack Snyder was fired pretty much, might as well have been fired pretty much after BVS came out, to be honest with you. He was just on borrowed time at that point. But yeah, I don't really want I don't care about all these cuts. There are a lot of people coming out right now talking about now they want a solo cut. They want a solo sequel, cut. They want a solo cut. They want this cut. Then I got all these people coming out petitioning, ooh, we want our Save Daredevil cut. I can tell you this right now. You're not going to peer pressure the MCU into doing what you want them to do. $22 billion in multiple big movies. They're not going to get peer pressured into doing a goddamn thing. And what you going to do? Just not go see the Secret Wars movie when it comes out? Really? That's what you're going to do? You're going to boycott over Charlie Cox? I mean, I love Charlie Cox on the Netflix show Daredevil, but I don't need him that bad. But like I said, a lot of people think that this whole Snyder cut's going to lead to just a terrible cliff dive of multiple people trying to get their original cuts out there of movies that didn't do well. Because you notice it's all movies they're all movies that are regarded as bad movies. All the movies that are getting these cuts are movies that are regarded you haven't seen like a Mad Max. You haven't seen a Dark Knight director's cut. You haven't seen the Avengers director's cut, the Avengers Age of Ultron director's cut. You haven't seen any of that. You haven't seen any of these other movies, you haven't seen a good movie have asked for a director's cut. All you've seen are these terrible movies asking for director's cuts. But I don't care about the David Ayers cut. Suicide Squad is an awful movie. It's a terrible movie. It's really not that good. There's only three redeeming things about it. And even those things don't quite redeem it to me, for real. I can't see how far off from the original that it can be, because all they did was edit it. So that means a lot of that stuff is in the movie. A lot of the things that you saw in the movie is in the movie. It's not like they replaced scenes. They just edited it. So a lot of these scenes are in the movie. So he really did want, certain things. Certain things are still going to play out the same way. Generally speaking, the movie's still going to play out the same way. It was just cut up so that it wouldn't drag and that it wasn't dark and that it wasn't as long and that, there was just certain things that were played up about it. And like I said, it's not going to change the movie. I never understood those people who saw the extended cut of BVS and it changed the movie. All it did was add a little bit more clarity to how ridiculous this situation is and how stupid it is. You know what it's like? It's like walking into a bar. It's like walking into a freaking random location and something stupid's going on. Something stupid's going on and you're just like, this makes absolutely no sense. And then some guy talks to you and goes, hey, look, I'm going to tell you why all this stupid stuff's going on. And then he tells you why it's going on. It doesn't make it any less stupid that it's happening. You just know why it's happening. And that's BVS. That's the extended cut of BVS. It's still stupid. It didn't change anything. It didn't make the plot different. It's the same movie. You just understand why the stupid stuff is happening a little bit better. But anywho, I've spoken enough on this topic. I've given enough time to this topic. I probably won't talk about the Snyder cut. The Ayers cut, unless it's happening ever again. Hopefully it doesn't, so I never have to speak of it again. Never want to watch Suicide Squad again, and I damn sure don't want to watch BVS or this Snyder cut. So thank you guys for joining me on Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.